night.
It's Bruce Gage's fault. He talked to
I
him.
didn't, I didn't talk to him for a week. You know, I'm busy. I can't be running around with that nut.
It's dirty.
What the hell was he doing? I'm not mad at him. I didn't like what he did with that vehicle. Huh?
We're live.
Did you say something about it?
He said something about, he thought he was
Okay,
Look, it was just sort of sneaky.
all right.
being a dealer, I guess.
Just, I guess, get out of that. And then get another thing over there, Don, on that another page.
Holy man.
And then pretty.
Cisco Ridge.
Yeah. WebEx.
Doing good.
You didn't miss this, Bob.
I will.
Well, you can come sit here with Mike Jensen all the
I'm
time.
not gonna miss shoveling snow in January when I'm in Arizona.
Then you'll have that same theory. Most of my old farmers that come in the store said, the good Lord put it there, the good Lord will take it away. In
What do you
due
mean,
time.
right?
Well, yes, I know.
There's so
Sign
many times
in.
when I worked for my dad, and a few of my years.
There.
Jay Hayes.
Most of the guys are all dead and gone now too.
Oh, there.
Okay, yep, continue. Yeah, okay, and so it's,
So how's it going?
I
Not too bad. I drove my old Corvette today. I figured it's a nice cool day. I got no air in that, so. Big old 350 in it, in the summer, 78. I got a friend of mine's gonna be painting it up, but
Gord?
I'm gonna go see, Red Oaks
down.
Fairly.
Yes.
I've had guys tell me he does impeccable work and he's possibly. So that's what I want. Hopefully he'll take it in the winter, so I got more ground space to get me by in the winter.
Well, Chippy was telling me about that truck, over there for 1,000. And the other one at 9.
Yeah.
You must have put the wrong place.
Thanks for the call, DC.
Well, these guys are worried about making a form, I guess, so.
Well, I had, I knew I was cutting close and I thought, yeah, by the time I drive off the road and try to find a phone number to call, I just keep going.
And I thought you said you were, see you tomorrow, you said.
You did.
Yeah.
And SIPS wasn't open yet.
We would all make it down
Okay.
Are we all set?
No, it's still playing in a circle.
One more highway committee meeting for me, so.
I haven't started with it yet.
Oh,
That's it.
two.
I think
Actually, we just
Two.
Start meeting.
Somebody-
Yeah.
I'll be gone, so.
Good for you. And I'm not running,
Right.
so.
Even better, right?
As I said, meeting at the high school in Seneca last night, so.
You gonna keep doing that too?
No, God, no, I'm off
I'm
that.
gonna start meeting.
What are they doing over
Does it
there?
again.
Jim,
2 years ago, we've been.
I see the same
Lunch
person.
meeting,
Yeah, they-
did you do
She's a
go
great
down?
teacher.
Yeah, because last meeting did the same thing. Takes me back in the
Serena,
circle.
Unit 2 district asked for
It keeps
50
taking
million.
me in a circle.
Says 5 million for wages and salaries and
But
10
it was
million for
something big.
improvements. And we went to see
I got a friend.
what
that works
kind of
there.
stuff they're doing. They don't even give us
It's
the
just the
information.
connection
Delivers
stuff.
all over.
So we started petitions to get them to,
I think
you know, like years ago, they used to have to put that
something like that.
a referendum.
Now
on
they're
the
just
ballot.
doing
You know, we want to help the kids. It's not like we're against the kids. I'd like to see them pay the bus drivers more too.
Depends on if you're gonna float bonds or you gotta do.
That's what they're doing.
Plenty of stuff
If you're gonna float
happening, so
bonds, you
that-
probably should. If you're gonna do,
Huh?
that certificate, you don't need.
Yeah. Anyway,
We've got to
you
do
know,
it.
Russell Hall,
I got that card.
he's the one who tracked it all down.
Oh,
Got right in there to the new superintendent, who would not give us any information whatsoever. He says, well, I'm here until you give me that information.
So I lost the YouTube channel.
I think
Because they
Scarecrow tried
to.
because he gets them out.
Yeah.
That was in Surrey.
Freight was-
Oh,
How can they ask for 15 million and not know what they're gonna spend it on?
Well, that's what they do know, but they're not letting people know.
That's weird. And them buildings aren't that bad. Well, and Harding's basically brand new. too,
Yeah.
so.
Sheridan got all the upgrades, so it's just, we're just wanting them to,
I think we're good.
all set. Okay, fellas, let's call this meeting to order. Need approval of the minutes of the last meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Bob, Walter,
No, it's already going. It's got it on the reserve screen.
all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign opposing, motion carries. Okay, to the bills. Highway, 103,410.25. 006, STM, 139,341.12. 007, bridge is 72,598.75. County would be 017, 393,684.06. And township, 917, 1,000,000 to 158.73. Need a motion to approve those bills, Brian? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Public comment? You're on, Tom.
First up is approval of utility permits. First county permit number is 22-27, for County Highway 3, Northville Township for ComEd. They are replacing a pole on County Highway 3. I'm sure exactly where in Northville Township, but it's one pole. Recommend that for approval.
Okay,
Next one's 22-28. It's on County Highway 14 and 54 in Eaton Township. It's for ComEd. They are replacing the overhead streetlights with LED lights. 22-29, County Highway 5 and kind of township line between Bruce and Farm Ridge. Frontier Communications, they are boring a new line in on the south edge of the right of way, replace it in existing ones that they're gonna abandon. Recommend that for approval. Next one's 22-30, County Highway 20, Ottawa Township. For Sure Shot. This is up on Etna Road. Boring a line underneath Etna Road over to the post office. Recommend that for approval. Next one is 22-31 on County Highway 6 in Grand Rapids for NICOR. They're installing a new gas main on the anodes. County Highway 6, just east of Grand Ridge. Recommend that for approval. Last one's 22-32 on County Highway 15 in Otter Creek Township for Nicor. This is for Nicor's relocation of the gas main around the box there in northern Kernan. Recommend that for approval.
Is that it on those?
Yep.
Okay, Ron? Approval on all these?
Second.
Bob? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next on the agenda is resolution 22-21, it's the bridge aid petition request. This year we have 7 petitions. First one is for Grand Rapids Township, to replace the pipe culvert there on North 24th Road. For a total of $138,000. Next one is for Miller Township on North 3501 First Road, where we're doing a culvert repair, replacing the floor in it for $57,500. One is for South Ottawa Township, where we're putting riprap around the bridge there on East 15th Road, $57,500. Next one's for Dimmick on North 35th Road. Structure, we're gonna replace it here in the future sometime. That's about East 350th as far as the location. That's the ones over the Little Vermilion River. And we've got engineering agreement estimate about $165,000. And we have another one for Dimmick on North 35th Road. This one's over Spring Creek, structure number 3423. The engineering agreement approximately about $120,000. Ottawa Township on North 2803rd, replacing the culvert, or actually repairing the culvert, with looking at lining that culvert for $120,000. And the last one's for Otter Creek on East 24th Road. Right now it's a triple culvert one. We're going to probably doing a box culvert as replacement. And the engineering started at for $65,000. So that totals up to $723,000 for all of them. That it's county bridge aid is 50%, township 50% of the county. So we're splitting the cost with them on these projects 50-50.
Don, some of them are some of the ones we went in the bridge tour, we looked at. So
Yeah, we looked at the Scour one. Actually, sometimes I just say some of us looked at the Scour one, so those got lost.
Whose car was that?
I was in it.
And then we looked at the one for Grand Rapids. We looked at the one from Ed Miller. We looked at the one bridge, the ones that stayed with us for the rest of the day at Dimmick.
When you're mentioning them, I thought, man, that sounds like someone we looked at.
Yeah, that's just when we do the bridge aid tour, right? Then we go look at some of them. We also look at some of the bridges that are in the area.
Thank you.
Okay, we need a motion on that.
I'll make that motion.
Bob? And Ron? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next one is resolution 22-22, is designating County Highway 2 from Samrock down to North 42nd Road as a class 2 truck route. This is funding that we received through an application solicitation. We're looking at taking this project to a letting yet this year. Overall project cost is about $19.9 million. And we're getting $518,400 of TARP funds to assist with that resurfacing. So it's about making about 1/4 the cost of the project. And all this resolution does is it approves to an agreement, and also we have to designate the road as a class 2 truck route.
Okay, Wally? Second? Ron? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next on the agenda is adopting the 2023 County Highway Improvement Program, resolution 22-23. You guys should have a nice table to look at.
Good print too, I like that.
That's big print. So we're looking to complete next year. We have our Cape Seal program. We're looking at Cape Seal to County Highway 5 from 23 to County Highway 15. County Highway 19 from County Highway 43 to Triumph. County Highway 24 from US 34 to US 34. If anyone's familiar with that, that's up by Leland, where County Highway 24 makes the loop from 34 up back around to 34. County Highway 30 from County Highway 6 to County Highway 55. County Highway 42 from I-80 to County Highway 33. County Highway 43 from US 52 to County Highway 19. County Highway 44 from LA 17 to LA 18. And then County Highway 62 is old Spurs on 51. That's 60 years ago. We're gonna do a total of length of 25.57 miles for $1.7 million. Not looking at doing seal coat work next year in the County Highway system. Then we have our estimated shoulder gravel program, which is what we're going to look at, the roads that were just Cape Seal shoulder gravel on the following year. So there's like 27 miles of that for estimating $202,000. Then that talks about the County Highway 2 resurfacing. You know, it's actually most of the funds coming out of 22. The project is going to be built in 23. So I still have that listed. You can see that it's roughly $1.9 million with the $500,000 coming from TAR funds. Next one's County Highway 15. That's the preliminary engineering for the widening resurfacing from County Highway 5, County Highway 6, all the way down to the Livingston County line. And then County Highway 15 project itself that we're doing from County Highway 6 to Livingston County line. We'll take that to the lighting next fall. So it won't probably get constructed next year, it'll get built the following year. And then County Highway 55, looking at doing an HME resurfacing from 23 to the Illinois River.
County Highway 33, which Wallace Waltham, okay.
That's what's getting done right now as far as Cape Seal.
Okay.
We got the bridges and culverts. North 12 is a bridge that's on the county line between LaSalle County and Livingston County. This year, the preliminary engineering is getting done. Anticipating construction letting next year for it. East Zeros Road is the one that's on the county line between LaSalle County and Payroll County. Right now it's currently low posted. We're getting the preliminary engineering started on that one. East 30th is on the county line between LaSalle County and Grundy County. That bridge is currently posted at 12 tons, and we're going to get the preliminary engineering started on that one. County Highway 2, we're going through a line of culvert up there. Right now, there is a sanitary sewer that serves Lake Holiday that runs over the top of this culvert. So we're looking at lining it, because to replace it, we have to deal with the sanitary sewer, we're not touching that.
Neither.
County Highway 9 comes on Creek that's up here, we're still anticipating to get that to a letting yet this fall, but we built next year. Same thing with County Highway 15, it's a box culvert, there's where the current, we're gonna do the letting yet this fall, construct it next year. County Highway 52 is a preliminary engineering that we're doing up there. And that works progressing and should be wrapping plans up here shortly. And then, of course, County Highway 57, right by the new bridge, which we're anticipating in November letting this year for construction next year.
I'm sure that cost will go up by the time we get into it.
Don't think so. Make more.
We get Megan saying, oh, I say, yeah, we're gonna be fine. But with that, it's federal funded project, so it's 80% federal funds, 20% local.
I thought there were some culverts we're gonna replace north of Stavanger. Was it, I thought a year or so ago we talked about it. There was some on the come.
What's the word?
No, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I had, maybe it's the one with the credit.
Well, that was on the township side though,
Yeah,
Miller Township.
yeah.
I think they did that, didn't they? Down for.
They did it right south of Timmins.
Timmons, yeah, I think that was the one.
But I thought on this, what I call the Seneca Blacktop, I thought there was a culvert where we were gonna have to do something with.
I know Larry had plans of doing stuff on County Highway 25. There's
Okay,
3 sets of culverts.
Right.
You want to go
Alright.
through and extend them and get rid of the guardrail that's out there, but the property owners didn't want
okay,
to give him easements to go work on their property.
okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking, because I
That
thought there
was-
was some,
Right when I first started, that was over 3 years ago.
okay, yeah, that would be, okay. Fine, I was, I didn't think it
So
was.
we haven't went back and explored
I
it
know,
yet.
I'm crazy.
Hasn't yet.
Crazy.
But we probably will because we like getting rid of guardrail.
Question money, though.
Well, it gets hit, but also the fact that when we go plow snow, it likes to catch snow. So it's, there's just 2 things, reason why we got to get rid of guardrail.
Thank you.
Any questions about our highway improvement program for next year? $18 million, yeah. That says a total of $18 million.
No, nobody flinched.
Yeah.
No.
What is it they always like to say at our meetings? Well, it's not our money. I said, you pay taxes, don't you? Okay, we need a motion on
Yeah.
that.
What are you gonna do if you want good roads, good bridges?
It's just-
I gotta admit, after being on this committee and going and seeing some of these bridges that we've been looking at, touring and stuff, and the condition and the hollowed out pillars, and
Makes you think.
it does.
You wanna make a motion on this
Sure.
resolution? Wally, second it? All in favor?
Alright,
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item on the agenda was resolution 22-24. I did not get the agreement from Department of Economic Opportunity for Endicott Grove Road, so that'll be up next month. Then we go over to the budget. So we'll start with 05. There we go. the paper, also have it on the screen too, so. Waiting around a little bit. First, we start with our revenues. Looking at a tax levy of $3,021,309. Which is based on a 3% increase. Personal property replacement tax, the $80,344 is based off of what we received last year, so I think it's a safe number to go with. Interest income, but 30,000, just a guess, it depends on the treasurer. Permitted loan fees, this year so far, we've collected around 19,000. So, next year out, could be around 30,000, so it depends. Access permits this year were about 15,000 already. So we still left this up to 15. Restitution for highways this year, I think we're close to approaching the 10,000. Township engineering fees, base that off of a guess on how much work I think the townships are gonna do this year. And the last couple of years have been closing around 275,000. Municipal materials and services, we just leave that in there. In case we do buy stuff for them, they reimburse us. Same thing with the maintenance other departments. Maintenance other departments, it's mostly diesel fuel that they're buying from us. Miscellaneous income for other things that don't fit. Transfer from insurance. And right now we got cash balance use of about 197,000. Then we get into the expense side. First one is professional services. With that, that's where I'm looking at increasing that to 150,000 this year for the 2 professional service contracts for redoing the Leonore shed and building a new building out at Serena. Getting those professional engineering services. This thing started, so I already got estimates from both of them for what the architectural fee would be on each one. One's at 35,000, the other one was at 7.5% of contract cost, which is probably about 130,000 for his engineering fee. So I put 150,000 in the budget for handling those 2. And with the one for Leonore, I was thinking I'll put an ARP application in to get the construction funds that handle that, because that to me is really COVID related. Because if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't have a crew of 7 to 8 people down there working on that office building every day. We're still got the crews separated just in case someone's affected. We don't lose the whole crew. We only lose roughly half a crew. We can still operate somewhat on a basis still at that point. So we basically totally shut down.
Absolutely, appreciate
So, I need to have an estimate from architect sales to put it for. Which I have to tell Kurt about that, because I'm planning on using Kurt Remley for Leonore and using Mike Cometz for Serena. So kind of spreading it around a little bit.
Spread the wealth.
Spreading the wealth.
So Serena, that would be demolish what's there and start from scratch, correct?
Not just there to build a bigger building that's elevated. And hopefully we'll solve some of our issues up there as far as drainage, sewers.
Things are wet, real wet.
I remember when we were out there, we were talking about that,
Right now, when it rains, the water goes inside the building. So,
And believe it or not, at one time they used to just spread it through like a canal and out the back end, which isn't really good, but it worked.
and right now, as far as our septic up there, it's a tank outside that we pump out twice a year. So we have to explore that to see if we can get a leach field in or make some other connection. But we're also gonna, both these areas, we're gonna put not a tornado shelter, it's gonna be a severe weather shelter. There are different code requirements between the two things. We call it severe weather, but our building here right now, we consider it a severe weather shelter, not a tornado shelter. For it to be a tornado shelter, you have to have a ventilation system built in with it that has hooked up to a backup generator and everything, so it runs in case people are trapped in there. You also gotta have bathrooms accessible. So the whole area there would have to be enclosed differently to make it all work. That should be a tornado shelter. You call it a severe weather shelter, you can't call it a tornado shelter. But that's what we're gonna make it severe weather. It's better to have something than to have nothing. Then we get a transfer to the general fund. That's for our IT department, and transfer to nursing home for helping with the water, pay for some sewer fees. Transfer for capital improvement. That's linking to my equipment wish list next year for PC.
Santa Claus.
We're looking at 2 more tandems next year. Right now, I'm guessing about $235,000 a piece for each tandem. Along with that, we're looking at replacing the Craftco machine and then replacing a 2001 Dodge pickup with an F-350. So then we can have 2 trucks back there that can pull the gooseneck trailer with. Because the maintenance guy uses some man lift and a few other things they use the gooseneck trailer to pull with, and right now they have to use the mechanics truck, so the mechanics would be without a truck. So we get 2 of the trucks and it works out better. The mechanics always have their truck and he always has his truck. That might adjust
On availability.
in availability. Talk about that on other thing later. So right now we have 3 pickups that are still on order, not sure of delivery, not sure they're ever getting made for this year's budget. So we'll talk about a little later because we got a possible option for one of them. But none of the dealers we're dealing with have said the order's been canceled yet. So I really can't order a new truck until they cancel the old order, because otherwise I might end up with 2 trucks instead of just 2 for 1 for everyone. So that's our $630,000 for capital improvement. Then we have transfer of health insurance. Definitely give you that number for this year, $49,810. Maintenance to the burglar alarm system. Years have been budgeted for $6,000. We've not come close to spending $6,000. We dropped it down to 3. Travel this year, we closed in under 3,000. So I bumped it up to 4. Electricity in main office, we're going to be close to approaching the $10,000 figure, so I bumped it up to 11. This year, Leonore dropped it from 2,400 down to 2,000. This year, Christina dropped 1,200 down to 800. Streetlights from 4,400 down to 3,500. Water and sewer for Leonore shed from 360 down to 300. Gas for our main office, bumped it up. We're already at 11,500. I got budgeted. We're not through the year yet, so bumped it up to 15. Same thing for Leonore, 3,000 to 5. Serena from 3,500 to 5. Telephone, there's a big increase because that's when we got our cell phones and tablets and getting all the service for all of them. I'm not sure, we're still contemplating the full service for the trucks yet. I'm still not sure on the coverage and reliability of the AT&T's network yet, if we want to do that yet. But we're still thinking about it. Internet, 4,500 to 5,300. Because we're getting into our later years of our contract with MediaCom and the rates increase. Janitorial staying at 14,000. Rent equipment staying at 5. Education staying at 5. Math 5 at 10. Publications staying at 6. Use of subscriptions 4,500. Miscellaneous expense got to from 1,000 down to 500. Office supplies and expense 12,000. Office equipment expense bumped it up to 11. Software purchases and licenses up to kept it at 24. This year we're over that budget line item because we went through and got the 3-year service contract for our AutoCAD licenses. So next couple of years we won't be spending our 24,000 on licenses. We took the hit this year.
I'd just like to revisit the electric.
Yes.
We just had our property committee and we go through a buyer. Quantum is the name of the company. I forget what the first part of it is, but for all the complexes around here, a $350,000 increase. So we maybe should keep those up higher. That's how much it's gone up. And these guys have saved us tons of money through all the years. And he says our gas is still good, but we haven't gone through the new, this is natural gas we're talking about. Till we go through that part of it. So there's been a substantial increase on all the utilities for the nursing home, health department, EMA, the downtown and Aetna complex. So that's how much that's gonna be. So I don't know how that equates to exactly, I don't have my notes, but it's pretty substantial increase. So we maybe shouldn't,
I'll just keep DC in the dark.
okay. Just only get light one day a week.
I was sure to increase it, anticipation, or just leave it as is and
See what cause they're gonna.
see how it comes in, and when the rates actually do increase. It's kind of hard to go through and
I know, well,
Guess that-
I just wanted to
Yeah.
make you aware of that, cause it shocked me. I know it was gonna go up, but I didn't think it'd be that much.
so far, as the years gone, about 3 years I've been here, every year we have not expended all of our 05 budget. Which then at the end of the time, we have at least $200,000 to $300,000 that we did not expend in 05.
Well, I think.
So that every use and basically carrying over cash balance, use them funds like the next one the year before. So we're not building a balance up, we're just programming what months I have left over from the previous year. So at that point, we'll have room to overall budget to see an increase, and we still be to not exceed the 05 budget.
No, I know, like I said, with the new building, we probably got the LED lighting and all that saves you. And for a higher efficiency heating system and everything. I'm just giving you the heads up on what, that shocked me. I thought, wow, because we have been progressively, going through and changing lighting on the cabinet. And
This building's all LED.
Bob Kamicki, the maintenance director, he said, oh my gosh, it's just nuts. So.
Well, whatever, sorry, let's leave it as is, and we'll see and adjust the year after. Unless I see a rate increase between here and the next month. Because
Haven't already.
today you're not voting on the budgets. Next month you'll vote on
Yeah.
budgets. Today's just gonna review and give you time to come back next month with any questions or comments and make adjustments then at that point. Next item is payroll. It's payroll. It's for Eva, Missy, Jenny, and Angie. No, not Missy. Eva, Jenny, and not Angie.
Mary
Missy split between 07. The other part. So, but $160,000 for that. Overtime dropped it down to 500, so we're not spending that much on anything in overtime. Maintenance and repair equipment, kept it at 11.5. Supplies for engineering, kept it at 11. Payroll, that gets into our engineering staff. Almost. Part of Missy's. Overtime for 19,000. Most years we don't hit that $19,000 mark. We're kind of down around 8,000 or so. Maintenance repair equipment, 60,000, kept it there. Maintenance repair buildings, dropped it from 80 down to 50. This year we had money in there to seal our parking lot out here. Have you guys seen as you guys drove in our nice black parking lot? Looks nice. We get to vehicle expense, diesel clear. $90,000 increase there. That's the price of diesel. This year, we're not gonna expend our $157,000 because we went through and did it like last year where we got our diesel fuel price locked in December. So we locked in at $2.99 a gallon for all year. This year, I sure wish we were gonna go. We're gonna lock our price in or we're gonna bid it out subject to price at the time when we actually ordered fuel. So,
On demand price or whatever.
yeah, because trying to figure out if the price is actually gonna go down next year or is it gonna go up next year? And we do that on a December letting, so at that point, BCI will have to make a call. Last year,
Wally, that'll be your first big decision.
Sure.
You,
Me.
Last year worked out good.
last year we worked out good. We guys
How was I gonna eat it?
$100,000 from our budget number, but we also did $100,000 over with current price dollar. We're probably $200,000 of savings by the number, what we did last year
Yeah.
for diesel fuel and gasoline. So our 05 budget's good this year because of that. Well, next year I got to increase $90,000, just not sure where the price of diesel and gasoline.
you have to take so many gallons at one time?
Not necessarily.
No, we give them an estimate of what we're gonna purchase.
I didn't know if it had to be a one-time delivery charge.
And no guarantee that we'll buy all that we list. We just give them something to establish the price off of.
Okay.
And we have a 12,000 gallon above storage tier for on-road diesel. We have another 1,000 gallons for off-road, 1,000 gallons for gasoline storage here. Then we have storage at Serena and also down at Leonore. So those tanks are much smaller. So our big storage is here and generally the diesel comes in a tanker, the other ones all come in delivery trucks. So there's an increase in, of course, off-road diesel, and gasoline. Duff, right now, I think Duff's not getting quoted right because there's no way we won't spend $78 in a year so far. Right, BC?
Yeah, probably. That could be.
Because you bought a 250 gallon tow,
So,
there's no way it was for
That's about
$78.
$2 a gallon.
So something's not in the right spot. Oil and grease, we're about 9,000 for the year. At 15,000 last year budget, so right on par. Tires, BC pretty well spent his wild this year so far. Tires. He's gonna buy another set in there yet too.
I was gonna say, we got a nice stockpile for, we need a couple street tires.
Yeah, but Tahoe's gonna need new tires before winter.
I don't drive it.
It's from all them lost miles.
So great.
So batteries, we're at 1,800 out, 2,500. Filters, we're out 5,000, 15 last year, dropped it down to 10 this year. Antifreeze is another item, I don't think Spent State's guarantee we spend $120 on antifreeze this year. Running equipment, the 22 dropped it down to 21. Surface, 70,000, increases up to 85. With that, I'd like to go through and fog seal at the road next year. Make it look nice and pretty black again and seal up all cracks, seal up that asphalt surface. Ditches and drains. 5 down to 10 down to 5. Bridges and culverts. 50 down to 30. Signs and markings, we're at 45,000, kept it there, that's basically what we spent this year. Guardrail, kept it at 5, no, we haven't spent anything. Everything that got damaged here, we got parts in surplus. Clearing right away. We had 45,000 budgeted, we only spent 8,000 this year, so I dropped it down to 25,000. Snow removal, kept it at 240,000. You know, the price of salt's probably going up this year, but we're ordering less salt than we ordered last year, because if you guys saw that our mix of salt and sand bin is totally full, and our straight salt bin is full. So we're fully stocked up for the year. We're getting another delivery of sand in to have our sand supply stocked up, so we reduced the amount of salt we're gonna order for next year. We kept it at 240, even though the price is probably gonna go up. Mowing, we dropped it from 5 to 2,500. Township purchase material, kept it at 1,000. Other county department materials, 2, we dropped it down to 1. Miscellaneous expense, from 5, dropped it down to 2. Supplies for maintenance, kept it at 25. Maintenance repair vehicles, kept it at 80. Material repair buildings, kept it at 30. Special equipment for radios, kept it at 500. Health and life insurance, this year we're looking at being just below $10,000, so I dropped it from 440 down to 430. Health insurance for retirees, last year that's when they had the cost savings. When they came out with that was after the budget's already approved, so this year I finally get it dropped down to 390. What we're gonna use this year. Payroll, kept it at 260, and overtime kept it at 40. So for a total budget of $2.7 million. It's on the bottom, I got it written down there about the carryover for 3 pickups, which I don't have that in this budget yet. So I talked to Stephanie how she wants to do that. If she wants to do it as carryover, or if I'm gonna, last year they didn't want to do it as carryover, they wanted me to have them get paid for by March 1st, so we keep it in previous year's budget. But I'm not sure when the pickups are gonna be delivered yet, so don't have to work out with Stephanie as far as that yet. Any questions on 05? We'll move on to 06. Tax levy, 1.510654, 2% increase over last year. Personal property replacement tax, that's what we received last year. Interest income, roughly what we received. The cost sharing road work, that's for a project in Wedren, we can get that to move forward. That's what they're gonna put into their project. Cash balance use, carryover, everything like that, 2.2 million for a total budget of 4.1 million.
I got a question again on that Wedren
Yes,
deal. Is Wedren Silica is the ones who own that crossing and everything, isn't it? And the rail?
they don't own the rail.
They don't own the rail.
The
Okay.
railroad owns its own railroad.
Okay, okay.
That's a
I
separate
just-
entity.
I had people tell me that they owned it, and I said, I don't think that's right, so. But I know that's something that they, all in that area, talk about. I said, well, it's been on our docket for a long time, so.
Yeah, because we gotta get permission to put a pipe underneath the railroad. That's where the problem is. There was an original pipe underneath the railroad and the railroad filled it in. So we have to get another pipe put underneath there and the storm sewer then ran over to the Fox. So all the drainage that's west of the tracks can drain versus running across the tracks to get to the river. So when it rains heavy down there, everything's just underwater in that area. And you solve that drainage problem, at that point you'll solve the problem of your road falling apart, because right now the road's constantly saturated, because everything that just goes in there and sits. So we get down to our construction projects. Everything that's, well, your copy showed up, but everything that was kind of grayed out, those are our carryover projects. Except for Wedren, that County Highway 15, that's from Nate Fleming Road up there. Still not got final bill from the state. The Wedren is what was estimated cost of the project, so the county got $1,000 into the project of $500. Terracotta, that's still waiting a final bill from the state. 33 and 43, still waiting a final bill from the state. Bowen Road, Caesar Project, still waiting a final bill from the state. County 5 and line 23, still waiting on a final bill from the state. And County Highway 2 resurfacing, that's the one we're looking at taking yet this fall, so it's actually out of the 22 budget, 1.4 million. And then County Highway 15 at $400,000, that's the $400,000 we got from the wind farm to resurface County Highway 15. So that is. We go into our engineering projects. Got 6282 for County Highway 15, that was due to the HSIP applications. Then we have our engineering agreement for County Highway 15 from 6th to Livingston County line, 592-107. Then we have the remaining amounts still that's on this Sandy Ford Bridge, which will be closed out here shortly. And we have the right-of-way for Red, White, and Blue Bridge, the right-of-way for Pecan Saga if we need it. And I got a new item for right-of-way for County Highway 15, because we'll probably need some corner cuts with making County Highway 15 a truck route, increasing the radii, so we need some corner cuts on county highways there. Then we get down to striping. That's our America's parking lot, comes up and stripes our roads. Yeah. Part of our GM program for ag shoulders for $100,000. For skip patch for $50,000, and the Cape Seal for $883. So we split those ag shoulders, skip patch, and Cape Seal between 06 and 017. We got a total budget of $4.1 million. Any questions on 06? We're on 07. Our tax levy is 1.5 million. Personal property replacement tax, 23,611. Interest income at 20,000. Federal reimbursement funds, 17,850. That's just the remaining funds that could be available off the Millington Bridge still, if we found that one out. Township Bridge reimbursement through our Bridge Aid program. Bridge engineering fees, 73,527. Township Bridge program, that's us getting reimbursed for engineering on Township Bridge project. adjacent County Line Bridge. That's for the Millington Bridge and also the ones at Grundy County and Payroll County that are coming up this year for the engineering grants. And we have carryover projects of $2.4 million. Again, as we look at the things that kind of keep on nice there, the ones that are a little slightly grade are carryover projects. So the first one up is City of Mendota, First Avenue, last over, 42,000 there still. The Red, White, and Blue Bridge, so that should be left there in 22 out of the 22 budget for $1,096,000. Wolf Creek for $148,000. Kind of.
$25.
County 25, yeah, I have nothing there for 25. That's culvert extension one that you were talking about before. I just need to get that line deleted.
So that should be deleted then.
Yep. County 33 becomes Saginaw, that's the one out here by Walton School, we still have 83,000 left. Data stables for that final Oakley Avenue is completed and it's open. So we'll get the final bill done this year, so we don't have any carryover for next year. I have 5 culverts, those should be done here shortly, so that's done here by next month, that line will disappear here. I have 15 culverts, that's the one we're looking at taking still letting it this fall. The culvert replacement lining, that's the one there, County Highway 2, 90,000 for that. Then I got line down here for bridge inspections, critical bridge inspections, and bridge inspections, just in case something comes up or when we need assistance for some of our bridges. I have some money budgeted there for. We haven't expended it the last 2 years. Don't expended it, but it's just there just in case I need to. We get in your engineering agreements. Everybody Blue, still 20,000 left to pay on that one. Hopefully Avenue, we said 2,500 left to pay on that one. Kind of went in Culver Peak and Saginaw, there's 12,000 still left to pay on that one. 77,000 left to pay on that one. Then go down right away. 10,000 still budget for White and Blue on there. Then you get on County Line Bridges, $700,000 still for Millington, because the state still doesn't send us final bill yet for a Millington Bridge. Got $450,000 budgeted for the bridge on the county line between Livingston County and LaSalle County on North 12th Road. You get the remaining engineering fees for that same project. We got the engineering for Millington Bridge. Then we got the East 30th culvert there in Allen Township, engineering for $85,000, and the one for Grove County and LaSalle County on East Grove Road, Control Grove Township, $35,000. When you turn the page, this whole page is our bridge aid projects. First one being Timmy Township, 110,000 for the bridge there on North 34th Road. We'll get let this fall and be built next year. Next to the 56,000 and 41,000, that's for the culvert up here on North 36th Road between Wallace and Freedom. That's the one where the drainage district and the property owners are fighting what size culvert should go back in there. once they come to an agreement, we can finally move forward with the project. Then we get into our timber pile repair program for Adams, Bruce, Dayton, Demick, all the way down through Troy Grove. Vermilion's a riprap project. Then we get Earl Township, the bridge that's completed. Should be open here in a couple weeks. And at that point, that's being state led, so that project will probably sit here for the next 5 years. Like Cold Creek is another one that'll sit here for, it's been done now for 2 seasons. Doesn't seem to go. Now after that, you get the Demick's bridge there, North Fifth Road over Spring Creek, 418,736. You got Demick's other one over Little Vermilion River, 164.46. Grand Rapids Pipe Culvert for 38. Miller Townships culvert repair for 57.5. United Creeks for engineering for a triple pipe culvert for 65,000. South Ottawa's riprap 57.5. Ottawa's Township here for culvert landing for 120,000. So our carryover projects were around, the Bridge 8 was around $1,033,000. Our current Bridge 8 project this year is $720,000. We have next line item down below, we have payroll, $360,000. Still making adjustments as far as the payroll numbers from one fund to the next fund. We're having the guys track actually where they work versus before they'd always make the budget numbers work to whatever our budget numbers work. I said that doesn't really do a lot of good when we're trying to track costs. Having charges actually where we're actually working on it. Lower time to 16,000. So our carryover projects, 1.8 million. So our carryover bridge aid was a little over $1 million. So when I carry the numbers back in, I split the bridge aid because half comes out of our costs, half out of townships. So I came with $2.4 million as carryover use. I actually only have a cash balance use of about $6,000. Any questions on 07? Next, we move on to motor fuel tax, Bill 17. Monthly allotments from the state. This year, we're looking at getting around $2.55 million. 30,000 interest income. And receive consolidated. Last year's payment was $528,000. TARP funds, that's from County 15 project and from County Highway 2. Reimbursement to County Engineer Salary Program for $70,000. And fund balance use of $3.1 million for a budget of $7.6 for revenue. We get down to our projects. County Highway 4 15 intersection. Still waiting on a final bill from the state, 11,000 there. County 15, I-80, Nate Fleming Road, still waiting on a final bill for that, got 1,000 still sitting there for that. County Highway 2 resurfacing. So we let this year includes our TARP funds and net funds. County Highway 18, from only 18 to only 23. Got that still as a carryover because we're not sure if it's going to be done this year or not, with the Bosco we're not getting done. County Highway 5, Sandy Ford, we're waiting on the Final bill for the state, the Sandy Ford Bridge. County 9 culvert, we're taking to letting it this year. County 18 is the culvert there on 18 for it to get completed. County 8 culvert, to letting it this year. County 9, County 12 culvert, here's to a letting, supposed to start here the end of the month on that one. And County 15, County 6 to the Livingston County line. Here, 59,000 is the TARP funds that's in the project. County 55 down for 23 to the river. We're gonna do a one look HMA on that section. Then we get down to what they used to call the maintenance patrol. We got beads for 50,400 and paint for 266. With there, you look at that, see the jump. Well, it jumps for two reasons. One, the paint price is going up, roughly a little over $1 a gallon. But the reason why those two items really went up was with autonomous vehicles, they're asking the edge lines to be 6 inches wide. And for safety, they're saying if you put a wider edge line down, it will reduce the number of run off the road departures. So I'm contemplating with possibly putting a 6-inch stripe down on the edge of our roads next year, instead of the 4-inch that we're putting down.
I'll take extra paint.
It's taking extra paint, yes. So that's the reason why you see that increase that way. I'm not totally set on doing it yet. I'm gonna have our entrance come in. I'm having a stripe. We used to have white lines come, our entrance come in. We're gonna stripe it with a 6-inch. I want to see what it looks like. And see if it makes a difference or not. And then next year, may do the whole county 6-inch white on edge lines, or may just do the high volume ones. But once you kind of do it, you're kind of stuck with doing it. So it might be a slow transition where I might just do high volume ones next year, and the year after that, I should do all, like put enough money in there, do them all next year. We came to it. Then you get into the skip patch for 50,000. Cape Seal for 83, shoulders for 100,000. Which those three things were split with 06. Then you get into payroll. $1.28 million. County your salary for 141 and 200,000 in overtime. For a total budget of 7.68 million. So on this, I have carryover projects of 2.5 million and a cash balance use of 621. Any questions on the budget?
Lots of dollars.
Yes.
Lots of dollars.
If the state catches up with the billing, budgets will definitely shrink. Right now, we do have huge cash balances. Like for County Bridge, right now we have a cash balance of 2.6 million. Our financial condition is actually only 637,000. So out of that 2.6 million, 2 million are already obligated to a project. So if someone's looking at a cash balance, don't be looking at cash balance, because that money's not actually there, it's there expended. Which I know there are some board members looking at that.
I know a few of my name.
Probably all.
Cover your life.
Special tax matching. We are now have cash in hand of 3.28 million, financial condition of 1.675. But as soon as we do the County Highway 2 resurfacing, that will drop down to about 300,000. So there's no big pot of money sitting there either.
You can help with that. They said you'd be able to help me. You heard it.
Well, they'll give you sheets as
Oh,
well.
I know, but it's just, when you talk to them, it's like, oh my God.
County Highway, we have a cash on hand of 1.4 million. Financial condition of 980,000, but that's gonna drop here shortly as soon as we pay for a loader and 2 tractors. That will shrink that surplus down to. The only place I really have a surplus of funds in is County MFT. And that's only 1.2 million. So got a good cash on hand of 544,000, but most of that's already expended to contracts. So I have cash true balance of 1.2 million, so. Someone looks at my cash balances. That's because all these carryover projects are there, we're waiting for the bill to stick bills and give us the bill and the funds would be gone, and I can't spend it on something else. No statement to come the next day and send me the bill, so. I do have that, so if you guys ever want to see that, I can give you that, it's updated every month. Next on the agenda is concur on disposal of surplus equipment. With us getting our loader in. So we're looking to get rid of a case loader. We got 2 John Deere tractors in, so we're gonna get rid of 2 mowing tractors. Along with that, I also want to get rid of 2 bat wings. We got 2 bat wings, and last year we never got rid of 2 bat wings.
Correct.
So the 1 bat wing, we think is probably just gonna be salvage only.
Yeah, we brought about every part of it.
So that's when we get right there. Jensen and I, we were out looking for AD and showed them the one mower sitting out there. We scavenged the parts off of it, sitting there, even weeds growing out of it. So we're looking at surplus of all that equipment. So looking for the surplus of equipment. Most of it going through Ritchie Brothers. The 1 bat wing is probably just going to be throwing.
Simcoe.
Yeah, go to Simple. We get whatever cash we get from metal, but yeah.
But the rest of it will go to Ritchie Brothers.
The rest of it go to Ritchie Brothers.
Seems like that's a lot simpler and easier, and it's not.
They make it pretty simple.
Do we have to take, they come get it, we gotta take it?
It stays right here. It's all online.
Oh, really? We don't even have to take it anywhere?
They come here, they take pictures, they document everything, they put it on our website. They go through the auction process. They get the little bidder pays them. They cut us a check and they let us know when that person's coming to pick up the equipment
And who it is.
and who it is. So at that point,
We basically don't have to do that, other than collect the checks.
That's pretty,
Does it seem like the sale price is pretty fair?
Oh, I think they're doing very well. Well, you know how everything's skyrocket, you know, as far as pickups and trucks and tractors, but yeah. No, yeah, and they're taking 15%, not 50% like some people think, but it's 15%, but yeah.
you know, I think all of this online auction stuff, everything.
Oh, it's just-
you know, a little extra money.
Well, and I know Bob, I've watched it, Sullivan's, I mean, you can just can't believe some of the prices some guys are getting, you know what I mean? So, but, which is more farm stuff, but still.
Just that sale was on Saturday, a couple weeks ago, you know, a lot of that stuff, online bidders.
Right, yeah.
yeah, it's a good. One backhoe we sold this year brought 27,000, which if I was buying it, I would pay 5,000 for it.
If that.
You go, yeah, it still runs, it's got low hours, but it was nothing but a bucket of rust. Cause it sat solid all the time, so
You can't help it.
the shields and everything were rusted away, the cover over the engine and everything was rusting away, had it strapped down to keep it closed. The front kingpin was wobbly on it, so. Someone's gonna pay 27,000 for it, I think they're gonna do a bunch of construction with it. They're gonna find out it's gonna fall apart.
And wind protection section.
Yeah,
With us, just have to leave it here and they take the pictures. So,
so we're looking for concurrence to dispose of 2 tractors.
is that a motion you need, or?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Wait, second it?
Motion to,
Rich Brothers.
Rich Brothers,
Except for the salvage.
yes,
And salvage.
except for a salvage.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign, opposing, motion carries.
Next on the agenda is the local road safety plan. I got to sit through a TV class for this. They're wanting all local agencies to do a local road safety plan. They see it as a countermeasure to reduce the amount of crashes that happen on the roadway system, which will reduce the number of fatalities and serious injuries. They say if you have a safety plan intact, you will start addressing, basically, because you got a plan together, then you got a way to go out there and know where you should be applying for grants and funding, additional funding to do these projects. Some agencies have gone out there and hired a consultant to do local road safety plan. I don't plan on doing it. I plan on trying doing it internally. But with that, it's not just me writing the plan. It's gonna be a committee working on writing the plan, which at that point, I wanna need involvement from the sheriff's department. Involvement probably from EMA. And then maybe involvement from some outside agencies to help put it together. Granted, I would be the lead person, and I'd probably do most of the work on it, but get them to also buy in on it, because number one, I go out there and make the road really safe, but if there's no enforcement with it, the number of injuries and crashes and the severity of them will not be reduced. So the enforcement there does as much. I know we keep getting more and more requests from townships and citizens about putting speed zones up. And those speed zones don't work unless you have the enforcement behind the speed zone. If people are now speeding over 55 right now, they're driving, well, just because put a speed limit up there doesn't mean I must slow everyone down to that speed limit. People are currently speeding, let's continue to speed. So, but they went through and they gave me a nice crash data summary of all the county highways within LaSalle County. To me, it's a little outdated because it goes all the way back to 16. Because it doesn't show how the improvements were done at 4 and 15, the improvements at 5 and 23, improvements at 33 and 43, those spot locations, they still show up as a bright red dot. The accident happened there, it's got the whole history in there with it. And right now, we also did our rumble strips at 33 and up on County Highway 12 at 251. And knock on wood, since we put those in there, there's not been no accidents those intersections. So LaSalle County's always been proactive as far as safety. I mean, gone through all our curves and have chevrons on them. We've gone through and checked the super elevations to make sure nothing's really deficient on them or anything like that. But nowadays, as you drive around other states, you see what they call a rumble stripe going down. They put rumbles in where your edge line stripe is. So as people run off the road, they hear the rumble and they wake up before you get them all the way off the road. Or they put safety shoulders out there with a rumble stripe in that. So, but this, when you start categorizing that, start putting planning out there, saying this is how much funds I need to do all this, what kind of gives it, puts it out there as formally in a plan. So
when you get done, does somebody else have to review this plan?
well, no,
I mean, or is
the
this?
plan would come to the highway committee to approve the plan.
Yeah,
But then even once we do that, the plan would need to be constantly updated. as you do improvements, as the crash history changes, you get to import that into the thing and update the plan. Like you can't just do it once and be done with it forever. It'd be something where you write it in there that you're gonna either update the plan every 3 years or every 5 years, whatever, and just write it up that way where you can do it every so often.
I wasn't sure if it had to go back to the state or somebody
The
to.
state's not approving it, it's just up to the local agency, what they, feds and the state would like to see them, but they don't really have too much as far as it, because they go, it's more for you guys just to get going on and start thinking about what you wanna do.
Have you talked to the sheriff and then EMA?
No, I haven't talked to them yet. I said the past last week, so I'm gonna say, hey, by the way, hey, I got this coming up, and I need your assistance with it, so. Because they might have a different viewpoint as far as how the roads are versus what I have viewpoint as far as the state roads are. So. That's something that's gonna take a ton of their time.
Seems like a lot of times we hire a consultant and then we look at what they consult and then we do what we want anyways.
Yeah.
I was having fun because FHWA's got a very good website now for this put together.
True price.
And you go through some plans like this one's for Boone County, Indiana. It's 33 pages long. Pretty brief, whatever. But I could tell it wasn't Boone County that did it. They had a consultant that did it, but it was still relatively brief compared. I'd seen for another county and it was 200 pages long. I go on, consultants getting paid by page versus getting paid for what they actually put it together. So at that point, they got a good template to start with for FHWA. So they go, look here, it starts it out and gives you go through it and have fill stuff out and put the questions together and kind of helps you how to map through it to put your plan together. So there's a good example to go by, and else got that. So I'm looking at getting that started. I'll see when I get it completed. But as I go through it, I'll probably give it to you guys to review, see what you guys think before we get too far along and start getting this put together. At that point, I'm not sure if it has to go full board approval or if it just has to be here. So that's something I got asked. Them as far as because it's just a plan. It's no.
Yeah.
I think the food about having committees would be good enough. So that's that. Any other questions about my local road safety plan? At that point, hopefully we do that. I talked to the bureau chief of local roads, George Tapas, when I was at the class. I said, yeah, you got federal HSIP funds. Why doesn't the state have state HSIP funds? Because the procurement process for the federal funds is a bigger hurdle to go through than it is with state funds. State funds, like if I want to do this strike next year, I could just have it in my plan and then I could get reimbursed from the state right away for those state funds. And it'd be very easy to do this. I'm going $100,000 to the county to do such a strike and everything. Well, you're right. But I just can't do that. It'll take legislative action to dictate that to IDOT to make that fund available. I said, okay, it's fine. I'll bring up the County Engineers Association and see if we can put that too. So that would make that process a lot simpler. So we can get something like that. Like we did the rumble strips on 33 and 12. We did that with strictly levy funds. Well, that state HSIP program, we could have put in that for that project and got those funds. So kind of goes with two things. Yeah, they have that, but there's some things that need to be also changed.
Then I get up to DC.
Okay, see you guys.
We keep reaching out to these dealerships, asking about stuff. So one dealership came back and said, I can't get you a 3/4 ton pickup, but I can get you a half ton 22 Ram 4x4 pickup, crew cab, and get delivery of it this year for, where's the price at?
So it's about halfway down
Yeah.
there, 3/4 of the way
It
there.
was 40,933. this is not state bid price. This is governmental pricing through this dealer. So I'm not sure if you guys want to go that way or that truck. The BC to drive
Or wait it out.
or wait it out for diesel.
Really need a crew cab?
So the reason we do that, Ron, is because then when I'm done with it, it'll go out when all the guys that go chipping trees or, when there's more than two guys in there, I mean, it's just,
I didn't know if it was just one person.
no, it's not like I just drive it and then I get rid of it.
So
Yeah, because if that was the case, I wouldn't need a crew cab, definitely.
It goes through the system.
But it goes, we ship it out to the next,
So we already had his truck ordered.
oh, yes.
We do.
Over a year ago.
We ordered it last
So
August.
this is a different one?
Well, this is, if we, this
Did
one
they
is going
cancel
up.
the other one?
Well, not yet, no, we're still
They
waiting on.
said I canceled it. Well, this is. We believe the dealer says he can get the truck. I forgot what the timeline was. But
This one or the one,
this one.
oh, yeah, no, October, November, I think. it was.
Original timeline to have it. They pretty much said, you'll have the truck this year.
Right.
Versus the other one, we're not sure if we're getting it or it's gonna be canceled. Don't know.
Yeah, they said they were gonna start canceling Ford stuff, but he goes, as soon as I find that out for sure, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get this one, you have to go through the other one.
No, we get this one. And if the other one turns out, actually, we do get it, well, then at that point,
We need three altogether for sure.
Oh.
well, you need three trucks total, yeah, so. But the other dealer with the other two trucks hasn't said anything about those two. We have three trucks on order, I don't know about any of those three are gonna come in. This gives us one truck. If the other pieces would all come in, we just slide this over into the engineering staff and let them drive it for a while and get rid of those engineering trucks that we got sitting there, which I don't know that one truck's got. I think 160,000 miles on it. I think that's what he's got on it.
Jason's got at least that many.
I'm not sure how much Pat's got on his. But both those trucks are approaching 200,000 miles on them
For gas or shit.
for gas, or so at that point, if those three diesels all came in, I just slide it into that feud and that truck would fall to the maintenance as a hand-me-down.
So we'll get replaced.
No, we're not,
We're still using either way.
yeah. There's only we know we get a truck in here.
I got one, I got a point.
So we got one more vote before you leave.
Okay.
You wanna,
Make it quick.
you guys wanna do that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there any motion
Is this,
to get this?
Yes, sir.
To gas or Dodge, yeah.
or to wait for the other?
This is a
You need a
motion,
motion to buy this.
motion to buy the Dodge.
Right.
Okay,
We're gonna use them anyhow, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
I need a motion.
You made the motion.
Ron,
I'll
second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Now you adjourn the meeting.
And there's a motion to adjourn?
Close the meeting.
He made that.
Oh, you guys can say that.
You guys second.
Second. All right, guys.
See you, Wally.
Okay.
Go first.
All right.
Did you say adjourn? Adjourn.